Hey there, history nerds! Welcome to the ultimate trip through time. It's Robera Roman here. History can be more surprising than fiction. Real-life events so wild you'll be checking your sources. Get ready for emperors, emus, and more. 15 unbelievable but true facts. Buckle up, hit subscribe, and let's get this history train rolling. Let's go! Alright, let's kick things off with a real mind-bender. Cleopatra lived closer to the moon landing than she did to the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid was built around 2500 BC, while Cleopatra lived around 69 to 30 BC. Fast forward to 1969 AD, the year humans first walked on the moon, and you'll find it's only about 2,000 years after Cleopatra's time. History is weird, huh? For over 3 centuries, the Netherlands and the Isles of Scilly were technically at war. This bizarre conflict started in 1651 over stolen sheep and lasted until 1986. The craziest part? Not a single shot was fired. Both sides forgot they were at war until a historian found the treaty in the 1980s. The Dutch ambassador signed a peace treaty, ending this hilariously pointless war. Imagine a world where the leader of a nation was also a brilliant theoretical physicist. In 1952, just a few years after Israel became a nation, they offered the presidency to none other than Albert Einstein. Einstein, ever humble and dedicated to his scientific pursuits, politely declined the offer, stating that he lacked the natural aptitude and the experience to deal properly with people. In the annals of battles you wouldn't believe actually happened, the Great Emu War of 1932 takes the cake. Thousands of emus were running amok, destroying crops in Western Australia. The solution? Send in the army. Armed with Lewis machine guns, Australian soldiers were deployed to combat the feathered foes. What followed was a series of embarrassing skirmishes where the emus, with their surprising speed and guerrilla tactics, managed to outmaneuver and generally humiliate the soldiers. He conquered nations, but could he conquer bunnies? Napoleon Bonaparte, the legendary French leader, once faced a humiliating defeat. The culprits, an army of fluffy bunnies. His men rounded up domesticated bunnies for a hunt. These bunnies saw Napoleon as giant walking carrot dispensers. Instead of fleeing, the bunnies charged. Hundreds swarmed Napoleon, causing chaos. The emperor, overwhelmed, was forced to retreat. Move over, Shakespeare, because Vikings were the original poets. We usually picture Vikings as fierce, bearded raiders pillaging and plundering their way across Europe. But beneath those horned helmets, which, by the way, they probably didn't even wear, beat the hearts of poets. Archaeologists have unearthed numerous examples of Viking runes inscribed with surprisingly tender and romantic verses. These poems, known as skaldic poetry, are filled with flowery language, metaphors, and heartfelt expressions of love and longing. This next story takes holding a grudge to a whole new level. In 897 AD, Pope Stephen VI put his predecessor, Pope Formosus, on trial, even though Formosus had been dead for 7 months. Formosus's corpse was exhumed, dressed in papal regalia, and propped up on a throne in the Basilica of St. John Lateran. Stephen acted as both prosecutor and judge, hurling accusations at the deceased pope. Formosus was found guilty, stripped of his papal vestments, and his body was tossed in the Tiber River. Talk about a hostile work environment. Let's rewind to the 19th century, long before Silicon Valley and the internet. Meet Ada Lovelace, an English mathematician hailed as the first computer programmer. Born in 1815, Ada met Charles Babbage, the inventor of the analytical engine. Intrigued by Babbage's invention, Ada wrote the first algorithm for his analytical engine. During the 19th century, Europeans developed a rather unusual fascination with ancient Egyptian mummies. And by fascination, I mean they ground them up and ate them. People believed that powdered mummy had magical healing properties and could cure everything from headaches to epilepsy. Spoiler alert, it didn't. This bizarre practice, known as mummy medicine, was all the rage among the European elite. It wasn't until the late 19th century that people finally realized that eating ground-up mummies was, well, not a good idea. Forget epic battles that rage for days. Sometimes wars are over before you can say surrender. The Anglo-Zanzibar War of 1896 holds the record for the shortest war in history, lasting just 38 minutes. It erupted between Britain and the Sultanate of Zanzibar over a succession dispute. The British launched a naval bombardment on the Sultan's palace, prompting a swift surrender. The whole thing was over so quickly that most of the Sultan's troops didn't even fire a shot. You've heard of war dogs, but get ready for a war bear? Meet Wojtek, a Syrian brown bear who served in the Polish army during World War II. Found as a cub in Iran, Wojtek was adopted by Polish soldiers and became a beloved mascot. He traveled with the troops, learned to salute, carried ammunition, and developed a taste for beer. After the war, Wojtek lived peacefully in Edinburgh Zoo, visited by his former comrades. Before you put that ketchup on your fries, consider this. It was once marketed as a medicine. Back in the 1830s, ketchup wasn't the tomato-based condiment we know today. It was a mix of fermented fish or mushrooms, spiced with cloves and cinnamon. People swore by its medicinal properties. Doctors prescribed ketchup for ailments like indigestion and jaundice. We all know the tragic story of the Titanic, but here's a chilling detail that often gets overlooked. As the unsinkable ship was sinking, sending out desperate distress signals, a nearby ship, the Californian, failed to respond. The Californian was just a few miles away and could have potentially rescued many passengers. However, due to a combination of miscommunication, misinterpretation of the distress signals, and some seriously bad luck, the Californian didn't come to the Titanic's aid. Contrary to popular belief, our first president wasn't rocking a mouthful of wooden chompers. While it's true that George Washington suffered from dental problems throughout his life, his dentures weren't made of wood. Instead, they were crafted from a rather unsettling combination of materials including ivory, gold, lead, and human teeth. Yes, you read that right. Washington's dentures were partially made from teeth extracted from slaves and possibly even poor white people who sold their teeth for some extra cash. While witch hunts might seem like something out of the distant past, the last known execution for witchcraft happened much more recently than you might think. In 1782, in the small village of Glarus, Switzerland, a woman named Anna Goldie was accused of poisoning a child. Despite a lack of evidence and Goldie's repeated claims of innocence, she was tortured and eventually confessed, likely under duress, to witchcraft. Goldie was executed on June 13, 1782, marking the last known execution for witchcraft in the Western world. And there you have it. 15 historical facts that sound like they came straight out of a movie script, but are 100% true. If you enjoyed this journey through history's weirdest moments, give this video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments which fact blew your mind the most. Until next time, stay curious.